The way that my life was before I started my health journey was a miserable state of mind, for sure. Physically, I was 326 pounds and really living life from the couch. There was a lot of things I wanted to do. I was casually looking for a job. Most of those job opportunities weren't really things I could do physically, or I had self-doubt that anyone would want to hire me in my state, or I just wasn't willing to do it because I knew it would be too uncomfortable. My days mostly were spent on the couch watching TV, playing games on my phone, just hiding away from the world. I had created a life where I didn't really need to interact with anyone. That was where I was at my lowest. At my highest weight, what was worrying me was probably I had pretty much resigned to myself that I would probably die young. The reality of that came out through the pandemic and knowing the statistics for people who got COVID. I pretty much knew in my head if I got COVID, that was the end for me. Everything that went wrong in my life, little tiny things, the recording in my head was, well, it's because you're fat. Almost constantly, every part of my being was blamed on the fact that I was fat. I've been asked if there was a moment where I realized I can't keep doing this, and I think I was well past that moment and didn't know what to do about it because I thought I was so well past any point where it was feasible to lose enough weight to make a difference. Every time I got to a point where I have to do something, it was immediately faced with what could you possibly do that would make a difference, because I was already so far past the point of good health that I thought that getting back to good health was an insurmountable task. I did not believe in myself in any way because of so many past failed attempts, or even some successes that just resulted in immediate weight gain following the success. I had lost belief in myself. I had zero belief that anything could work for me because of so many attempts and seeing that I had failed. What's changed is that when I got the right support around me and I got a plan that was sustainable for me, that was simple, that I had someone in my corner that believed in me, that's where everything changed. And little by little, over time, with small successes that were celebrated along the way with someone else, that's when I was able to start believing in myself again. And then over time, as my mindset changed and that belief gained momentum in my head, then I started almost reprogramming my brain and was able to tell myself over and over that I was a healthy person. And now I do consider myself a healthy person, not only because of what I've achieved, but because I've made the decisions and I've taken the actions and established the habit over and over and over. And I've put in the reps and had I've had the repetition, or practiced the repetition, that builds that belief to where my whole identity has changed. When I started on my health journey, I initially still did not believe in myself. My coach told me that I needed to borrow her belief and give it a try for 30 days. And that's what I agreed to do. And I did stay committed to it for 30 days. And because I had those small wins in that first month, I just kept going. There was no reason to stop. What surprised me most about losing 200 pounds is that I lost 200 pounds. I never thought it was possible. Probably from the time that I started gaining weight in early adulthood, I never thought I would be, that's what they say, right? In adulthood, you never go back to that high school weight or whatever. And I never thought that that would be possible. I thought my body had changed in such a way that you'd never go back there. I think most people think that way. What surprised me was that it was possible. And I think it's possible for just about anybody. My body has definitely changed. It's not the same as it was in high school, but the weight is the same. I think sometimes that people see the before and after and they are so amazed that that's even possible. And they become really impressed with me, and they get this impression that I might be something amazing that nobody else can do. Not literally nobody, but that very few other people can do. One of those amazing stories that you see on TV, and then they look at me as this person who's just accomplished so much. But the truth is that I just followed a plan that anybody can follow. I don't really see it as anything amazing or spectacular. The hard part is the mind. The 6 inches between your ears is really the hard part. The hard part wasn't losing the weight. The hard part is becoming a healthy person, changing your identity and completely transforming your life. Those are some of the hard parts. When I had a moment or a trigger or a situation where I really needed to stay on track and I didn't really want to, I would ask myself, what would a healthy person do? And that became my mantra that I would have in my head of, you are faced with something right now. What would a healthy person do? Because that was my goal, was to become that healthy person that I visualized. And so asking myself what I would do is asking, what would that person 5 years from now want you to do in this moment? So that's how I changed my mindset into changing my identity and becoming the person that I am today as a healthy person.